This is Ben Davison. Subscribe to Stephen Icon.
So Deontay Wilder has spoken about adding to his team. And that's what me and many people have said that Wilder needs to do. He needs to add to his team. Personally, and again, it's just my opinion, I will get rid of JD's and potentially Shelley Finkel, because these two are the two that I looked at afterwards where they're having a go at Mark Breland and not too concerned about Deontay Wilder's well-being when Mark Breland saved Deontay Wilder. But hey, it is what it is. And with Deontay Wilder, he's speaking about bringing in a couple more people, and of course he speaks about George Foreman. Now he does say he's not going to name who he's going to be bringing in, and that's fair enough. I don't think that he should have to name everything and everything that he's doing, as there's still plenty of time because we don't know when this whole virus situation is going to be calming down. So what's the rush, really? But anyway, with Deontay Wilder, this is what he had to say about his team. We've had a lot of people reach out, but you have to be careful. Some people just want publicity. There are two people that I'm bringing in. I'll get my team in order and we can move forward with our game plan for the third fight. Everybody wants what you have, but they don't want to work as hard or sacrifice as much. People get envious. This is one of the things I've had to weed out. In life, you lose more than you win. Some people don't know how to bounce back from a loss. People want to see somebody lose and see how they get up. I lost in the ring, but I'm winning in life. Sometimes you get used to things getting comfortable. You still have hunger, but it isn't the same when you first tried to get into the rankings and go on for a world title. This has allowed that hunger to come back. I'm never down about losing because it makes me stronger to come back and overcome. It was good speaking to George Foreman. We talked about a lot of things from his career, good and bad, different tricks of the trade, certain things that he saw in my fight. He wants to show me some methods to strengthen certain parts of my body. I will go see George face to face and spend time with him. So that is Deontay Wilder's statement. Now, there is like a little bit of a thing here at the end. I don't know whether or not Wilder actually said it, but the article finishes off with that Wilder is recovering from a bicep surgery, which was caused in the Fury fight. So, again, this is more surgery for Deontay Wilder. He's like the bionic man, isn't he, with the amount of surgeries that he's had. Anyway, now, as far as George Foreman, I've said it before, I think George Foreman coming into his team is a great move for him. I really do. Foreman, he's been there and done it. He lost his and of course his world title on the big stage against Muhammad Ali when he was the feared puncher. Muhammad Ali wasn't supposed to stop George Foreman. Maybe outboxing potentially, but he wasn't supposed to stop him. And Muhammad Ali, he'd done that whole rope-a-dope. Many of you guys who haven't seen the fight don't know too much about it, but you may have heard the term rope-a-dope. It was Muhammad Ali who coined that against George Foreman. So George Foreman, he's been there, he's done it. And of course, George Foreman is equally known for his power. Is he a bigger hit than Wilder? Who knows? There's arguably that George Foreman could be the hardest hitter in the heavyweight history. Maybe at Ernie Shavers or whatever. Because these guys, they fought and stopped top elite fighters. That's something that Wilder hasn't done yet. But time will tell. Who knows? So bringing George Foreman is good. Now, who the other person will be, no idea. There's been talk about many people like Larry Holmes or something like that. Again, that would be a good addition. But I think that he just needs boxing people, and he's right in what he says, where he says what you don't need are people who just want a little bit of glory. In other words, come into the team for a payday. You want the right people in your team, and I totally agree with it. He says that he's weeding out certain people in his team, which is why I started off the video by saying that if I was Wilder, I would strongly be looking at Shelley Finkel and especially JD's based on their reaction after the fight. Of course, they're both managers, but JD's, he's also part trainer as well. In fact, he's a head coach of it. Mark Breland does the full-time work, the pad work, all that kind of stuff. JD's will chip in, but of course, he leads the training. But JD's, he was more concerned by saying that Mark Breland shouldn't have thrown the towel in because he wanted Wilder to go out on his shield. What kind of scumbag are you? What kind of scumbag are you? Every man with a pair of eyes firmly implanted into their head could see that Wilder was about to get stopped and become a highlight reel knockout for Tyson Fury. So Mark Breland throwing in the towel, okay, it's not great to have in your resume that you quit, but it is what it is. For me, I would rather somebody threw a towel in to save me rather than me be somebody's highlight reel knockout. But that's just me, I'm not a fighter. So him changing some aspects of his team, totally agree with it, that is for sure. And if I was him, I'll probably concentrate as well on getting those around him as well. Weed out those who are just yes men. Because you need people to say, listen, this is what happened. This is why you lost. You need to take it on the chin. Certain things that you've been working on in training, you don't seem to do it in the ring. We know that you have certain attributes, but you don't show it, which is why people look at you and say that you are a limited boxer. Because he's got to have something. You know, he was part of the US Olympian team. So he's got to have something about him, but he just doesn't show it because his ego got the better of him. Where he switches into this alter ego, the Bronze Bomber. Ridiculous, that's mental talk. And just relying on the big right hand, I only have to be perfect for 2 seconds, you have to be perfect for 36 minutes. Not really. Anybody can look good against Wilder until they get clocked. It is what it is. Once Wilder clocks you, you're done, pretty much, right? But outside of that, Wilder's going to have to survive. And Wilder's quite happy to lose points. Look at the fight before against Luis Ortiz. He lost every second of every damn round. And Luis Ortiz got comfortable, got hit. Simple as that. All Luis Ortiz had to do was dance around for the rest of the fight. And he would be in the new WBC heavyweight champion of the world. Did the referee stop it too soon? No, probably not. It was a big punch. So, Deontay Wilder, I think he's doing the right thing. Maybe removing some loose nuts in the team and bringing in some ones that are going to strengthen it. And I can agree with that. But ultimately, it doesn't really matter what you teach him. Once he starts getting punched in the mouth, he's going to revert to type, isn't he? And hope to land that big punch. But if somebody like Tyson Fury, somebody like Anthony Joshua, somebody like Dillian Whyte, somebody like Alexander Usyk, and a couple of others out there as well, they can negate that right hand. But what are you going to do? When you don't have the right hand, you're losing every second of every round. When it comes round to round number 7, Wilder's in deep trouble, isn't he? Because he's gone past the halfway point and he's lost every single round. So Wilder does have a very good jab when he uses it, and it's surprising, and I've mentioned it before, that in the first Fury fight, he out-jabbed Fury. Believe it or not, he out-jabbed Fury. The stats show that he did. And for the first round or so, he threw more jabs than Tyson Fury. Again, when you look at it, every time he threw the jab, Fury couldn't get near him. But it's when he went to throw the right hand, that's when Fury managed to expose him and pushed him onto the back foot. It is what it is. End of the day, he got caught with a pretty decent punch from Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury not known as the biggest puncher in the world, but he fell to pieces. He didn't know what to do. Wilder's always been chinny. We've said it since day one. So this is nothing new. This is not me jumping on the bandwagon or starting to put down Tyson Fury's performance or his win. Not at all. I've always said Wilder's limited. A lot of people have. Which is why we always felt that he ducked the likes of Vladimir Klitschko, Vitaly Klitschko, Dillian Whyte, and Anthony Joshua. And, we could probably argue with the Alexander Povetkin thing as well. But again, we're going to get into all that. But fact is, Deontay Wilder, he got absolutely annihilated because he just doesn't do what he's told. He never does. What was it that his team was telling him in the corner? What is it that his team ever tell him in the corner? JD seems like he doesn't know his arse from his elbow. Mark Breland is giving Wilder some kind of instructions. Wilder sat there looking like a gormless buffoon in the corner. Then gets out and does the same thing that he was doing before that Mark Breland told him to stop doing. So again, Mark Breland, he does have Wilder's best interest at heart. But ultimately, if Wilder ain't going to listen, it's probably best to let Mark Breland go. Personally, I wouldn't, because you need people around you who care about you. And Mark Breland certainly cares about him. And he's been in those kind of horrible situations in his life where he's been on the receiving end of knockouts. Where he's been beaten up. And of course, he's been the one doing the beating up. So Mark Breland, he knows how to box. He's an outstanding amateur for American boxing. And as far as the amateurs go, Mark Breland is seen in America as somewhat of a bit of a cult hero. So why isn't Wilder adopting any of Mark Breland's style? Bit of patience, sure. That's pretty much all that he's done. But anyway, it is what it is. Deontay Wilder, he's going to bring in a couple more team members. It does appear that George Foreman is going to be one of them. But again, George Foreman, he did try and jump into the team with Anthony Joshua as well. I have no idea if Anthony Joshua and George Foreman even spoke, but we know George Foreman, he did actually reach out to Anthony Joshua. And incidentally, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I am one of only 83 people that George Foreman follows on social media. How about that, eh? It's a bit of an achievement in itself, isn't it? Anyway, article in the description box. Go give it a read for yourself. Drop your own thoughts below. Make sure you are subscribed, and I'll catch you all in the next video.